I know you already know this, but I'm going to be the one to remind you today. Nobody gives a damn about your potential. Not the idea you have, the vision board, the thing you started 2 weeks ago and already feel like giving up on, the plan to gain weight, lose weight, build a dumpy, whatever it is. Nobody gives a damn until you do something with it. And if you do not get a grip and start acting on the things you want, you will simply die as the girl with potential. I'm not saying this to push the knife in deeper and twist it, make you feel worse. I'm saying this because it is more detrimental than you think. It is more costly than you think. Not only are you missing out on your life if you act in this way, but you are creating a cycle of distrust, which makes you feel uncomfortable in your own body, deep despair and frustration with yourself, because you've created this cycle where you do not follow through. So you do not even believe that you are a reliable, trustworthy person to yourself. So we need to unpack it. Today, I'm going to talk about why it's imperative that you must start, why you must do the damn thing and cross the finish line, whether you fail or make it happen. We are going to unpack these mental blocks together because you owe it to yourself. I'm Danae. I help women go get paid by deprogramming you from the noise so you can build a life that actually feels like yours. So you already know if this video is for you, but I want to be crystal clear and make sure I'm grabbing the right audience right now. I am speaking to my past self when I make this video today. I was the person that saw the potential in other people, even saw it in myself, but never acted on it. I consumed people and things and just everything outside of me more than I understood, or let's say consumed myself. I continued thinking about what I was going to do and how I was going to do it instead of taking the daily actions. If I wanted to try something or start something, I would just spend so much time planning and thinking rather than actually just doing the thing and figuring it out as I go, because actually that makes the most sense, because you don't know much about a thing until you actually start doing the thing. And what's worse is that you know that you're meant to do something. You have a burning desire in you to act on this thing. You actually know exactly what this thing is or very close to what it could be, but your habits match everyone else, or you just never give yourself the opportunity to put that thing out there and see what can happen. Or what's worse is that you have a burning desire in you to accomplish something or to do something or to build a body of work or to change who you are, to act in a different way, to become a different version of yourself. Yet you stay small because you're afraid of what people might say and your habits reflect that. So again, you build a cycle of distrust. You are smart enough to know that you are not stuck. You don't need any more information. Actually, all you're doing is procrastinating on doing the hard work to become the version of yourself that you want to become. And that is okay if you are willing to accept that the only place that is going to take you is on your deathbed, thinking about all the things you could have done that you were afraid to do because of whatever excuse you have in your mind right now, or whatever thing feels bigger to you than it actually is. And I know it sounds harsh and morbid, but truthfully, this is the way you need to think if you want to make the most out of this precious life that we have. And I especially think it's important to think this way because so many people will talk about the wealthy and the rich and all the things they would do if they had all the money in the world, how they would solve world hunger and they would do all the charitable things. But the thing is, you likely, if you're watching this, have the biggest lottery ticket to be living in likely North America, the UK, whatever it is, to be living with a roof over your head, to have clean water and food to eat. That in and of itself is a lottery ticket, and you are here, wealthy AF, wasting it, literally wasting it, doing the same thing that you likely look up to people who have money and think, oh, if I would do something different. There are people out there who are looking at you thinking what I would do to have the opportunities and the chances to create a life in the way that we have. And the thing is, when you have a pursuit as a human, when you start to build something, even if it doesn't work, it anchors you to become an active participant in your own life. A lot of us are just passive observers in our own life. I always say this, dotting the script that we've been giving. But when you have a pursuit, something that has structure, something that has stakes, something that you can see the results of over time, you stop outsourcing your existence and you start to participate in your own life, to become a decision maker, to do things that people think, wow, that's amazing. The things that you have in your head that you know that's what the outcome would be. And because you've never had a pursuit or you've never followed it through, you've built a cycle of distrust. And there's this lovely quote, man is nothing but what he makes of himself. If you don't ever make anything, you just stay in limbo. You literally just rot with the tension of your potential. What a horrible life to live, especially when you have this lottery ticket. And worst of all, when you don't have trust in yourself because you've never seen things through, you outsource your decision making to the algorithms to people around you. So you have zero self compass, you have zero decision making skills, you have no idea who you are. You trade your own power for comfort in your phone and allowing the world to decide who you are, and then complain that the world was not set up for you to succeed. I can imagine that you can't even remember the last time you had a gut instinct, a gut feeling. That is the most natural and, in my opinion, most clear way of figuring out whether you are aligned and in tune with your own self, with your own compass. Because really, what a gut instinct is years of data that your body has reacted to know whether something is for you or not. But when you are misaligned, when you've built a cycle of distrust and your body is so out of whack, you do not even know who you are. So you don't even have a deep gut root instinct anymore. Life is a practice being in motion. If you are not in motion, there are no lessons to learn, no things to see from the actions that you make, then you are not living. Every decision, every misstep, every wrong, every right, that is life. If you freeze, you break the feedback loop, therefore you break living a good life. One of the main things that got me going was watching videos and reading things of people's dying regrets. One of the most common dying regrets is living for other people because of what people expected of them, whether it was their parents, their loved ones, or just complete strangers. And it's interesting because living this way is also so egotistical because it's all looking inwards. Oh, this is what they're going to say about me. This is what they're going to think about me. Instead, if you remove that and you look outwards and you think about who could benefit from what you put out into the world or how you move in life, becoming your best self, the person that you might smile at on the road because you spent years becoming a happy person. And then that specific day, that person really needed a smile. I know these things are trivial and I'm just making up storylines, but you get what I'm saying. It doesn't always have to be this big drastic thing or you change millions of people's lives. But thinking outwardly will give you new perspective on why you should act on the things that you feel so deeply inside that you should accomplish. And maybe you don't even feel like you have anything because you're so disconnected from who you are. But it all starts with getting a grip on your own life and not being a passive observer, because at the end, that is it. Literally, that is it. That's the end of the show. Start the show, become the main character. You're a side character in your life right now. The regret that the dying have doesn't come from failure. They would have wished they had another chance to fail on their deathbed. It comes from waiting, from the decision fatigue, from the silence, from staying in situations for years, even though you know it's not good for you deep down, or just because it feels comfortable. That's where the regret comes from. And you cover that up by saying you're being careful or whatever, but all you're doing by starting and not finishing or practicing or preparing is rehearsing for a life you will not live or dragging out the intermission in your show. Boring. Don't you want to live a good life? Don't you want to live a life where you have stories to tell and you're in situations that people don't even believe it's real? This is the opportunity we have, and you're sitting on it right now and making it all dusty. So what now? Start, do something, take an action, start before you feel brave. You will feel brave when you start. Literally, that is it. It is simple. You have an idea, you have a plan, start. What is the first step you can take? Take that first step. Literally right now. Pause, leave the video. Take that first step. Maybe you have literally nothing in your head that you can start because you're just like, I don't even know what I'm meant to do in this life. Pick one thing to get better at. Maybe it's your eating habits. Maybe it's drawing. Maybe it's writing better. Maybe it's reading. One thing. Pick one thing to get better at. Start with something small to give yourself something to work on, to get better at. This will create the path for a pursuit. And then give that thing 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and don't stop. When is the last time you've committed to something for a long period of time? You have to commit to something for longer than it feels like you should commit to it. That's where you see the compounding effects start to work, but you never do anything long enough to see it work. See it through for once in your life. Commit to something, even if it's the smallest, most stupid thing. You can't even imagine the type of confidence that you'll get and feel when you do something small for yourself, and the trust you then have in yourself to do something bigger. But it all starts with taking that small act that feels dumb, that feels weird, that you might cringe at. Would you rather laugh at the things you did that make you cringe on your deathbed, or sit there thinking, damn, I wish I did something that made me cringe or that made people talk about me? Which one would you choose? If this video is your wake-up call, let it sting. Let it make you feel a little bit shame. Let it make you feel a little bit regret, because you would rather feel that now when you know you have breath in you, God's willing to wake up tomorrow and do the thing, than feel this when it's too late. Get a grip now. hold on to it and build the muscle of that grip. Your grip on life isn't something that you'll always have. Things will happen, life will ebb and flow, but the muscle to grab back onto it and get back on the saddle, that takes effort, that takes commitment. And the people that you see outside and that are on the internet that you look up to simply built that muscle that you're refusing to put in the hard work to build. And for what? What is that doing for you, for your future self? For anyone around you, for the people that could be in your life that maybe will never be in your life because you never act on the thing that will get you to meet those people. There's just so much at stake by sitting on your potential. And I need you to act like it. Act like things are at stake or die in shame. And I promise getting a grip on your life will also probably help you go get paid.